Hi there, my name is Sam, one of the founders of Instant, and in this video I'll explain everything you need to know to start A/B testing your Shopify store. So I will cover why A/B testing matters, so what we will bring you. Then we'll dive into formulating a high quality hypothesis, which is the foundation of A/B testing. Then we discuss high leverage versus low leverage tests and the biggest A/B testing mistakes that you need to avoid. First of all, why A/B testing matters. A/B testing is a form to increase your revenue because it improves the conversion rate without increasing your advertising budget. So essentially, without having to spend more to get more traffic, you can earn more revenue because more people convert. And when we take a look at these two stores, you can see the difference. So both stores have 50,000 monthly visitors and an AOV of $50. Then store one has a conversion rate of 2%, resulting in $50K in monthly revenue, while the other store has a conversion rate of 2.2%, only 10% higher. And this small 10% change in conversion rate already brings them $5,000 more every single month. And this is the power of A/B testing. So before we dive into all these specifics, I have 4 questions for you. First of all, what is your current conversion rate? What is your current monthly traffic? Then your current AOV, and what does a 10% lift means in monthly dollars for you? So essentially this overview right here, create it yourself and see what type of impact A/B testing can have on your store. Now let's get into the specifics. Formulating a high quality hypothesis. And this is an example of such a high quality A/B testing hypothesis. It's because the PDP has a low add to cart rate, the problem, and session replays show shoppers hesitating in the buy box, which is the data. We believe simplifying the buy box, which is the belief, will reduce cognitive load, which increases the add to cart conversion, which is the metric that you want to increase with this specific test. And in this part of this video, I'll show you how to create such an A/B testing hypothesis yourself for your Shopify store. So number 1 is find the highest value pages. You want to be testing pages that can actually give you results. So for most stores, these are either the most visited PDPs, most visited landing pages, or the most visited collections. So take a look at your data and figure out what the highest value pages are. Then for step number 2, start with a clear problem. So a hypothesis is never the first step. You actually begin by identifying what is not working in the funnel. And for this, you need to use data to pinpoint these issues. So these can be your Shopify Analytics or Google Analytics, scroll depth, heat maps, user surveys, session replays, you name it. And problems you can identify, these are actually very common problems, is for example, a low add to cart rate on your PDP, or a high bounce rate on landing pages, low product discovery on collection pages, low click-through to variant choices, or poor engagement with images or reviews. So start by identifying the problem. Then you need to find the friction behind the problem. So every quote-unquote bad metric has an underlying reason, and your job is to explain why you think users behave this way, and thus why the problem or bad metric exists. So, for example, shoppers fail to understand the value because the hero section is unclear, or the buy box looks overwhelming, so shoppers hesitate, or product images are too small and not detailed enough, the variant selector causes confusion, and so on. Simply put, find the friction behind the problem. Then for step number 4, you need to connect the friction to your proposed change. So what do you think will fix that friction? And this will help you avoid random design tweaks, but tie your solution directly to the diagnosed problem. So if the hero section is clearer, more users will understand the value and continue reading. So before we said, hey, the problem is shoppers fail to understand the value because the hero section is unclear. So if the hero is clearer, more users will understand the value and continue reading. Another one could be if the reviews are higher on the page, more users will trust the product and click add to cart. Or if the images are larger or of a higher quality, more users will inspect the details and feel more comfortable purchasing this product. And in the end, it all comes together in the high quality hypothesis. And this is the formula that you need to use to ensure that your A/B testing experiments will actually drive results and increase your revenue. And the formula is because we observed problem, we believe that change will lead to this behavior shift, resulting in this metric lift. And a real hypothesis, as you can see right here, predicts how the change will, first of all, affect the user behavior and not just the metric, and then how the metric will be affected by the behavior shift. And this is key in A/B testing. So another example when we combine everything into a simple high quality hypothesis statement is because the landing page has a high bounce rate and scroll depth is low, we believe a stronger hero value message will increase engagement, which leads to more users reaching the first product module. And this combines everything in a very simple, clear hypothesis, which forms the foundation of effective A/B testing. Then we have high leverage and low leverage tests. And it's important to focus your energy on the changes that truly matter and really try to avoid wasting time on small tweaks that will only, in the best case, deliver small wins. So with a low leverage test, you can expect a 1 to 3% lift on the specific metric that you focus on. While with a high leverage test, you can expect up to a 20% lift in your metric. And an example of a low leverage test is the button color or minor spacing adjustments, tiny copy edits, icon changes, or small styling tweaks. While with a high leverage test, you create a completely new PDP layout, or you add a new section above the add to cart button, or a new image strategy, higher quality or more lifestyle images, a simplified variant selector, strong before and after visuals, shipping clarity, shipping costs. So really high leverage, big impact test that can really move the needle. And it's important to focus most of your time, if not all of your time, on high leverage tests. Then the biggest mistakes you need to avoid. So great brands don't win because they run more tests. They win because they run tests that matter. And mistake number one that you need to avoid is calling tests early. This is such a common mistake and you don't want to do it. So always let your test run for at least 7 days. It takes time because it takes traffic to get to a stable confidence level that either version A, B, or C is the winner. So let your test run. Mistake number 2 is testing tiny changes. We just covered this, but to focus 80% of your tests on high leverage ideas. Mistake number 3 is testing pages with low traffic. You want your experiments to have impact. So only test pages that get at least 1,000 sessions per month. If you don't reach that yet, just pick the highest traffic page and focus on that. Then mistake number 4 is no hypothesis. So always have the hypothesis with the behavior change, with the metric, with the belief and the problem. Then number 5 is running too many tests too fast. So in most cases, you always want to test one high impact change at a time. If you have a larger store with way more traffic, go ahead and do multiple tests. But in most cases, testing one high impact change will do just fine. And then mistake number 6 is ignoring audience and traffic quality. So avoid running tests during sudden spikes from ads or influencers or promotions. You want your traffic to be stable. You don't want any other outside influences to mess with your experiment. So keep an eye on that. And when it all comes together, we have 8 different things that we need to remember. First of all, identify the top 5 pages by traffic. Then identify the single biggest friction point on each one and write a hypothesis per friction point. Then choose the top 1 or 2 that you want to test. Number 5, of course, you need to build the variant, which you can very easily do with Instant, no code, no complications. And then you launch for at least, I would say, 7 to 14 days. And when you have a winner, then you roll out the wins across all similar pages. And you repeat this on a monthly basis to really turn your store into a true conversion and revenue machine. If you want to learn how to set up a test for your Shopify store without code, with just a few clicks, make sure to check out the video that's linked down in the description. And this brings us to the end of this video. So thanks for watching and see you in another video.